That was fantastic. And if you want to get in touch with your inner super builder, enjoy those building blocks of AI. We have a Lego builder station back there for all of you little bit of antsy folks out there who might need a little break during today's sessions. But moving along, I'm so excited for what we have next. So we're going to do something we haven't done before yet here. We're going to have 3 lightning round TED style talks from 3 future of work and AI experts around big ideas for what's ahead. So they're going to have 7 minutes each. And let me tell you, I've seen some of their slide decks, and I'm not quite sure they're going to hit the 7-minute mark. So I am going to be ruthless and cut them off. So if you see that happen, don't be alarmed. And then we're going to bring them all up for a few minutes of Q&A at the end. You guys ready? All right. So first up, excited to introduce Wagner Denuzzo, future of work expert, a dear friend who innovated a lot of amazing things at IBM and Prudential, and is on great new adventures now. And Wagner, come up to the stage. Here's your clicker. I'm going to give you a slightly different mic.
Well, I had planned, being that we have 6 minutes, I had planned to show a video. Remember Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? Into the bagel. Remember the everything bagel? That's where we are right now. But I'm going to get you out of that hole, and we are going to understand how to deconstruct all this. So, future of work. First of all, Deloitte did the favor many years ago to describe what is future of work. Future of work is comprised of work, workforce, and workplace. Those are the 3 elements of the workforce, the future of work. And then I have to add something that I learned at IBM, that it's always my compass. When you have complex issues, you have to start thinking, what are the systems that together comprise this ecosystem that we are talking about? So to start there, you can start thinking systems of record. And that's what we are talking about. We need to understand data. We need to understand what data sets can we use, especially in organizations today. You have GDPR, right? Privacy in EU. Now they are coming up with the CSDR, which is the Sustainability Disclosure Regulation. This is going to impact all the enterprises globally because they're going to have to provide data. It's disclosure. It's not pre-made reports that can look good. This is disclosure. And they're going to have to disclose the dynamics in the workforce, what they do, how many people they laid off, how many people they hire, what is the diversity of those people. So there is a huge effort being put in global companies to address that. But that's systems of record. Right now, if I ask you, do you know any mega organization today that know the number of employees they have? Do you know? Anybody who knows accurately the number of employees they have? Probably you don't, because it's very complex. So they have to deal with that. The other system is systems of insights. What insights do you derive from the data sets that you chose to apply these insights in analytics? That's very important to know because it can misguide your discovery. And then finally, I think something that's really important about what you said is the systems of engagement. How do we engage with employees, the stakeholders, and how do you create platforms as experiences? So if you think about CX and EX, we talk about this very often. CX, we need consumer grade platforms. Of course we do. But EX is the same thing. I'm still on slide 1. No. So the idea here is systems of engagement are really critical because that's how you're going to develop those relationships. So systems of engagement with the customers and the employees are platforms. So the experience is a platform. Artificial collective. I just put this, and I love this image. I have so many images. I don't know about you, but I have tons of images. Claude is my favorite. Claude AI is a good friend. But I believe we have to start thinking beyond the novelty. Now we have to start thinking, what is our collective experience of being confronted with something so radically different? So we have to step back a little bit. Yes, we can do a lot of use cases, we can do prototypes, but at this level, we need to start thinking, what's happening collectively? What is our consciousness directing us to do? And usually, I'm more optimistic. I think it's going to guide us to do the right thing. Of course, we need to talk about regulations and all that. But I think we need to start thinking artificial intelligence is basically a collective intelligence that's available to us. What do we do with that? AI will radically change the way we manage workforce. And that's my theory, because we have to elevate the conversation to capabilities. Before, I used to do transformations at IBM, at Prudential, without this circle of AI. If you think about, companies only succeed if they have critical capabilities that give them exponential advantage competitively. How do you do that? Creating products, offerings that distinguish you from any competitors. And I use this, which is an easy framework. You need the dimensions of technology and platforms, org design, and ways of working, process, workflows, and skills expertise. Guess what? Roles, skills, and expertise is a shared responsibility between us and technology. Now we have our co-pilots, we have our co-workers, and we need to include AI in all areas that we are trying to transform. And the capability, for example, people are using a lot in customer service reps. Customer service has been revolutionized for years. And we have seen AI, Salesforce, everybody's trying to put AI into it because it accelerates the call time. So this is from Samudra Group. Samudra is a think tank, and they bring a lot of board members. They bring CIOs, CTOs, and CEOs to discuss these things. We just had a conference 2 weeks ago. And this is interesting use cases because the customer service, of course, training from 6 months to 2 months. Fine, we understand that because that's easy. Then 200 hours, 200,000 hours saved. Why? Because 3 minutes per call, 4 million calls a year, you have 200,000 hours saved. That's amazing. Then you have BCG. BCG put consultants, experienced consultants, and less experienced consultants to use ChatGPT to help them in their work. What did they find? Performance went up for everybody. So leveling up is something critical, because the great thing that I found is that the highest value is in the employees who have least experience. So think about this. On the customer service, the less experience benefited much more. The less experienced consultant benefited much more. So imagine, how would I bring people in, onboard them, and accelerate the training of those who can benefit the most? It's exponential power that HR is not ready to do yet. But we should start thinking about a dynamic talent strategy that has 3 years. First year, welcome, empower you. Second year, I develop you. Third year is a share game. Or you go, or you stay, or you go across. Or I decide that you're my leader. So, and by the way, this picture, you know what? We are going to create a game. Guess what prompt did I use for this? Nobody knows, right? You don't know. What's the prompt that I used for this? But it's beautiful, isn't it? So I want to just tell you this, just closing up here a little bit. This is serious because in psychology, in industrial psychology, organizational psychology, we use the 5-factor model for personality to understand, to assess, to create assessments and all that. Somebody did a study. Guess one of these 5s, they compare AI with the general population, humans and all that, through interactions and all that. Guess what is the factor that AI did poorly in comparison to humans? All the others, AI did much better. But what is the only one that AI didn't? Try. Which one? No, openness to new experiences. Because neuroticism is about stress tolerance, extroversion, conscientious, and all this. It did much better than humans. But when it came to openness to new experiences, which is innovation, it failed.
Wagner, time.
So time is up. So I just want to tell you this. This is an important one, but the system, the ecosystem, yeah, thank you. The ecosystem of a workforce management is changing radically, because now you have management practices and all the functions have to come together. So the integration of these capabilities internally is going to be what dictates success. Without that, you're not going to have that. And I think the last one is just, this is important too. Last 10 seconds. Talent acquisition, we are used to the process, the traditional sources of people. Then we went in through alumni, global sourcing, freelance, all this. But at the end of the day, we are here. It's an AI and human capability jointly bringing talent. So what I'm going to tell you is composition. The composition of the workforce is not full-time employees. The composition is capabilities that you bring in for certain missions, and that's how you create the best outcomes. And thank you.
There we go.